Welcome to Marbella Life podcast. This week's guest is someone who usually questions me, my therapist, Fayad, who has a Syrian and Spanish background but has been living in Marbella for 40 years. He's practicing gestalt therapy, kinesiology, and family constellations. So in this episode, I will find out more about his work and what are the main reasons people get therapy in Marbella.
Inside of us, we have everything what we need to survive and to go out to take what we need from the entorno, from the environment, from our environment, but not be just in the environment and we lose and we forget ourselves.
So do you think we can change our character?
For sure, we can do it.
So
For sure.
Normally
Normally, we see our signals or symptoms as something very bad, no? It's like, oh no, I have this and we get, but no, we have to understand that this kind of signs, as you said, symptoms, they are like knocking at our door and try to tell us there is something that is not going good in your life. There is something that you have to look deeper. You have to search what is happening.
But have you had patients who come to you and you can feel they are lying to you? They are not being honest. How do you address that? Do you tell them, stop lying? Or how do you, or sometimes you cannot tell that they are lying?
Well...
Hello. Hi, Fares. How are you?
Hello, Tene.
Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so happy to be here.
Me too.
So
Me too. Fares is actually my therapist, and I've been seeing him for a few months now, and really love seeing you. But usually he asks me things, and I thought, listen, it's time when I ask you some things now, and I want to get to know you more, and also to share your work more, because what you do, I think, is really incredible. And I really I'm looking forward to this interview to find out more about you and your work.
Okay, I'm very glad also to turn a little bit the roles.
Yes.
So now I can be the underdog for you. And
you are my patient today.
That's it. And yeah, I'm very happy to share with you and with all the audience all things that you want to ask me. And with my basically English, I can explain to all of you.
It's very good.
So,
it's very good. Don't worry. So let's talk about you a little bit. Introduce yourself. Where are you from? Tell me about yourself a little bit.
Okay. Well, that's a big question, no? And
we have time.
Well, I also, first of all, I feel like in a good emotion, no? When I also speak about me. And well, my name is Fares. I was born in Spain, and my father is from Syria, and my mother is Spanish. That's the main thing who marks my life, no? And we can see in the whole interview how that affects to me in many different things, no? Well, I'm father of 3 beautiful boys that I love to live with them and fight with them and play with them, no? And well, I'm working as a therapist since 13 years ago. I'm gestalt therapy. It is a therapy which it comes from the humanist. And well, there was different things that makes my life to come to this way, you know.
So how did you become a therapist? Did you always know you wanted to become one, or how did your journey to therapy come along?
No, I didn't realize that I want to be a therapist since I was like 35 years old. Because my university studies at the beginning, I was philology Arabic, philology, and I was working as a translator for the different police groups and different youths for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And well, this is something that with the time I learned also, no, I realized why I start with this Arabic studies. That is the well, like my father view, no? My father was looking at his land as an immigrant in here,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking to the same place that my father was.
Uh-huh.
And I do Arabic philology because of that, but I didn't realize that since many years later. Okay.
Did you do therapy, or how did you come to this realization?
Well, I'm also, we say, intercultural mediator,
Mm-hmm.
and I start to work in a closed center of underage teenagers, African people who cross to Spain and they live in this kind of school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was working as a, we say, educador.
Uh-huh.
It's
Educator. Mm-hmm.
and as I said, intercultural mediator.
Mm-hmm.
And also when I was working as a translator, uh, I was very happy with my job, but I always felt like something was missing.
Mm-hmm.
That I can do something more for these people that they are now in difficult situation, travels, etc. So I get in a very big crisis,
Mm-hmm. Personal crisis.
personal crisis, yeah, and I start to do my own therapy, which is something that I still doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start to do my own process, and in 2 years I say, okay, I'm gonna get ready for that. So I start to make psychotherapy studies in Sevilla,
Mm-hmm.
Cádiz, Málaga. I become a gestalt therapy, which is 4 years of study. I become family constellation. I will explain a little
Mm-hmm.
bit later, which is 3 years of study. And then I make like a mix of all my background,
And you studied kinesiology as well.
and I'm also holistic kinesiology.
So you haven't stopped studying it.
No,
so
this comes
many
7 years ago. I
Mhm.
start with that, and I was like very lucky with that because I belong to a big college, which work for as a professor, as a teacher, and I do the emotional side of this holistic kinesiology.
Mhm.
I do it in Spain and in Morocco, and I feel very grateful of that. Yeah, thank you.
What is the emotional kinesiology for someone who's never heard about
Okay,
it? What does it mean, or how do
Yeah.
you work?
Well, the kinesiology is a very big tool, let's say, where we talk with the subconscious of the patient
Mhm.
across muscular test.
Mhm.
And in this muscular test, I can find out across your body, because he's the one who's going to tell me if you are in a, for example, a structural problem, chemical problem, emotional problem. Let's see, come on, some esoteric things which belongs to the chakras and the Chinese medicine. And in that point, we can find that it is an emotional problem. You maybe have, for example, in men's is very common, the low back problems, and many of them are, for example, immigrants. The guilty, it's
Emotion.
an emotional thing who goes there, and he comes for a structural thing. But when I ask his body, then it says, no. I need some structural stuff, but I also need an emotional issue. So I do this treatment using all the tools that I have. Gestalt, family constellation, bag flowers, MDR, Shafiro, many different techniques.
So when a person comes to see you, do you then talk to them and see what kind of therapy would suit them the best?
Yes, because this is something The tools are very important, but I would like to say that the most important thing is the relation in between the patient and the therapist. If their relation it's real, clean, honest, and everything what is happening here and now can be in the surface, then the tool, it comes immediately. Okay, let's see with that. Let's come with that. But the main thing has been treated.
But have you had patients who come to you and you can feel they are lying to you? They are not being honest. How do you address that? Do you tell them, stop lying? Or how do you, or sometimes you cannot tell that they are lying.
No, well, let's say in that kind of work, lying, it's like, let's say, a little bit hard word. Because we're not trying to lie our therapist. We are in our own, what we call neurosis. It is our own way to manipulate the ambient in our own history, in our own beliefs. So we say to the therapist, oh, I am a person like that. And I know and I can feel and I can smell for many different reasons that is not like that. Maybe he eats that from his teacher or from his father, who knows? It's a kind of belief, that's it. But he needs like to throw out that and see if this is useful for him or not. Okay? So he's not trying to lie me, he's lying to himself, he's lying to everybody. But it's not because he is a liar. It is because his own way of
the way he is,
the way that he knows. You know, what we call character or personality is something that we develop to try to search our life in a difficult situation. Our father is working too much and he has no enough view to us. Our mother is not doing maybe what she really expects in her life, and she feel a little bit depressed, but she's hiding that because, and to try to get the view from our parents, we make many creative and different things, and this is our character, and this is the way how we manipulate the what is around, no? That's it,
so
no?
Do you think we can change our character?
For sure, we can do it,
so
For sure, we can change our character, and not also we can, like we say in Spanish, dar la vuelta a la tortilla, put the omelette in the other side, no? But we really have to believe in, and we really have to trust in our process and what we are doing in our life. And of course, if we are in a therapy session, in what is happening in that therapy session.
So what is the main concern of people who come and see you? What is the main problem or the main issue? What would you say? I'm sure there's many, but like maybe top 3.
Okay, let's talk about that. It's a very interesting question, because some people come to see me for a kind of pathology. No, they have anxiety, they cannot sleep well, they have what we call ideas intrusistas, ideas that it comes through you and you want to put them away and you don't know how. This is like a way or a kind of pathologies, and we go to resolve that issues, no? Some people are more like a consulting sessions, and they want to find out something of themselves or about their couples, or they have one problem with one of his children or his mother, and they want to find out this thing.
Specific thing.
So I call this like consulting, no? And let's say the last one and the highest one for me, the one that I love more to do, it is the people who wants to come to know more about them. They are maybe in crisis, but they are maybe not in one crisis now. But they want to search more about them, about how they live in the limits, how they, for example, the character makes them fall in the same place many times, and they want to grow, let's say, no, in a way of compassion of themselves. And this let's say these three kind of patients, different patients or clients, it depends. And you want to know also a little bit the, let's say, the illness, no?
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you can tell us without compromising your clients.
Yeah, for sure. Well, now, let's say these modern times make us to run a lot. The people ourselves, we are like in a lot of autoexigencia. No, it's
Auto existence, no?
It's like I have to do more. I have to earn more money. I have to grow in my job. I need to learn more language. I have to be health my body, you know, with a chocolate tablet and all these things, no? And these are all things that belongs to a future. Sometimes it's a future near future, but sometimes it's a long future. And every single time we jump from the present to the future, the anxiety is coming to visit us. So I will say the anxiety issues are the most things or the most illness people who are coming around now. Okay?
And probably also because of social media, no? Social media doesn't help with anxiety to see other people's lives. Maybe you think, oh, I have to be like that, or who. Everyone is, of course, showing their best life in social media. Usually, you don't see the problems, and sometimes now people are starting to share, but sometimes you think, oh, everyone is living their best life, but I have all these problems, and I'm like this, and why am I like that? So probably that doesn't help either. And also the screens, we have computers, tablets, phones, constantly interrupting us to just be with ourselves.
I'm totally agree with that, and I would like to say that it's not so from that. It is from that century, of course, but it came from 50, 60 years ago. That everybody starts to see more what is happening outside of our body and minds. That so the show off starts in the 20s from the last century, and this is going more and more. And of course, we're trying to show everybody a life which is perfect. What everybody knows that our lives are not perfect, and this makes like a comparison, and when we do comparisons, we always lose. We cannot take one thing from one, for example, one person from one country with different fathers to another one who comes from another place. No, and we are more outside and trying to completely ourselves with the things that are around and not with the things that we have inside. That we inside of us, we have everything what we need to survive and to go out to take what we need from the entorno, from the environment, from our environment, but not be just in the environment and we lose and we forget ourselves. Okay? I would like to add another thing, that if the jump from the present to the future make us anxiety, the jump from the past, from the present to the past, normally make us a little bit of nostalgic sensations. And sometimes we can see that people with depression disorders are more in the past for sure than in the future or the present. So at the end of the day, what we try to do in therapy also is to take the individual, the person, to come back here and now. Come back here and now. And we do this across the body, across the inside feelings, across a good, let's say, like a road plan for our emotions, to know where I am, how I'm feeling in every single moment. So I can actuar, I can acting out, I can do everything as I feel inside, not as the people expect from me or what I want to show or sell to the other people.
To learn more about who we are, what we want, what do we want to do. Yeah. Who is your average patient? Are they mainly men or women? Are they in their 20s, 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s? Or you have or you have a mix of everyone? And what kind of nationalities also?
Well, I love to work with teenagers. It's how I start in that college that I talked to you. And well, I have a lot of issues with my teenagers ages. So I love to work with that. And I think I have a lot of things for share with them. And I also, I have normally more women than men. But now, for example, I have more men than women. So I am attracting different things in different times. Now I'm now, as I said, 13 years working. So many things also are changing. But there is something that I also always attract, which is people from many different nationalities and peoples who are mixed. Because I think, no, because I am Syrian and Spanish. Then this kind of people, maybe they don't know who I am or where I come from, or maybe they even know my name. But they came or.
But how do people find you usually?
Well, normally there's two ways, because I have no.
You don't do promotion.
I don't do promotions and all this. I'm very bad in that kind of issues. I'm trying to do my best right now, for example. But no, I start because I work with some people, and these people say to another people, no?
So
what
recommendation.
Word recommendation.
Of mouth.
How do you say?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
It's the
boca
best.
a boca.
It's
Yeah.
the best advertising.
Yeah. And well, I'm also have a lot of, well, I would like to say good luck, but also dislike. I would like to say that I earn that luck. And my colleagues, there's a lot of psychologists, a lot of doctors who know my job. They know that I'm like always trying to study more and how I work with my patients. So they recommend me a lot of people. I'm also doing, we call supervision of cases. It's a group where I work with another colleagues and we see each other, our cases, and we talk about what is happening with you with that patient, or what is happening with you with this another patient. And in that group, let's say again, I feel like very cuidado. They take a lot of care about me, and they are always sending me patients. And I also work in different psychology and gestalt centers around the Costa del Sol. My place is here in Marbella. It calls Centro Psicoterapia Raíces. It's where I work the whole time, no, the main time. And I also go to different cities from the Costa del Sol to expand my.
Yeah, now you're expanding to Nerja.
I'm in Nerja and Estepona.
So soon you have the whole coast.
Well, I would like to stop here because also, well, one of the main things, as I said, no, that the problems from the new area is that we work a lot. We need to work a lot because we need to pay all everything. We love also our work, and we try to do our best. And in another hand, we need time for our families. We need time for ourselves. We need time to, I don't know, expand our creativity and other things that is not around the being more and more successful in our job or in our current account, no, in our bank account. Or, so I always say I need to explain everything with my example. So one of the things is, okay, Fares, it's good like that. I'm happy. And it's enough with Marbella, Stepona, and Nerja for the moment.
That's true. Yes,
true.
you need life on your own as well.
That's it.
This episode is brought to you by Besaya Beach and Tikitano by Besaya. Visit my website to find out more about these beautiful restaurants.
You were recommended by a very good doctor, Kati Polman.
Yeah.
But your own father was also a doctor.
Yes.
Tell me about your father.
Well, that's because I said that my history during the times I can see now as a psychotherapy how affect in my life many different things. For example, at the beginning, I was out of all this kind of thing. My father, as you said, is a doctor, a cardiology. My mother is a nurse. They are retired now. But I was living in that since I was 9 years old. I knew how to take the telephone and ask to someone, what is happening to you? Are you feel bad? My father is going to go to your direction. Please give me all the address.
So you're basically a cardiologist also.
Well, I work with heart issues, but not in that way, no? Yeah, my father was more in a death and life issues, which I'm also, because all these things are also belongs to that, but not so directly. You don't die and stay alive in 1 second of decision, but during your life, you can see if you are. So at the beginning, I was trying to run away of all of that because I say, oh, I love this medicine. I really love the profession as a doctor. But I saw my father very sacrificed, a lot of hours, always Congress, always studying. And it was, oh no, I would like to surf in Cadiz because I love the ocean and waves. And I'm going to do that thing. And it was Arabic philology. And I couldn't realize that it was that I was looking in a subconscious way to the place that my father was looking also. No? And 15 years ago of official traductor and very successful translator, I changed. And now I'm like completely in the same way as my father, working in a consult that helping in the past belongs to him, now belongs to me, and going here and there to try to find solutions for people who are in crisis.
You spoke about anxiety a little bit. I think this is probably one of the main issues of people that I know as well. Do you want to talk about anxiety a little bit?
Yes, of course.
What is that? What is?
Okay.
You said it's a signal.
Yes, it's a signal.
The body is sending you.
Normally we see our signals or symptoms as something very bad. No, it's like, oh no, I have this, and we get. But no, we have to understand that this kind of signs, as you said, symptoms, they are like knocking at our door and try to tell us there is something that is not going good in your life. There is something that you have to look deeper. You have to search what is happening.
So what would you recommend to people with anxiety? Should they come and see a therapist?
Yes, of course, to come to see a therapist. And we talk about this is the symptom. Let's see what is under the symptom. What is it in the root? And for example, we find out that she is in a situation that she's like doing of mother and, let's say, mother and father of her parents, of her husband, and of course, of her children. She's in a bad order. This is not her place. There is a lot of things, and it is like the one who is repairing the motor of the aeroplane. You took him and you say, okay, you're going to drive the aeroplane. Of course, he's going to be anxiety.
Yeah.
He is in a place which is not in a good order.
So is that when you use the family constellations?
And this is when one of my main tool, the family constellations, work with. We try to put order. Okay, family constellation.
What? Just explain a little bit what it is, if people haven't heard about it. I think it's becoming also more not popular, but more used now. Around my friends, I hear it around more, but I don't think it's still so trendy or popular yet as it should be, because it's a very important thing to,
well, they start 25 years ago. Okay, I would like to say that it's a way of a therapy system which belong to the what we call systemic therapy. Okay, it's an official therapy, and you can study in all universities from all over the world. The family constellation try to find out the invisible relation, vínculos, that we have with one system concretely, normally with our family, original family, or the one we created. And we can also use this tool, for example, in organizations, in all kind of systems, okay, where there's, or in a classroom. Okay, and what we do is that's the most difficult issue to explain, is that we normally use people who represent the different problems or people who are around the conflict that we are trying to resolve, no? And this come to the surface, and we can, across a picture, and imagine that it's with the different representing, we can see the solution of that main problem that it has. No? I'm going to say very quick, it is all under 3 laws. Okay, the first one is everyone in a system has the right to belong to that system. If we want to say, no, this cousin, this son, this father was very bad, he was doing that or another thing, so we want to make an exclusion of him, then the system is going to reproduce this issue with another one from the system.
Until it's fixed.
Until it's fixed. That's it. The second one is there is a hierarchy. Hay una jerarquía. The ones who are before are more important than the ones who are afters. But the ones who are afters has the priority. Okay? That means my parents are more important, because if they are not existing, I will not be in here. But my children has the priority, because they are the, let's say, the youngest one, the small ones, the ones who needs more to take care about them. And this is many times you can feel disorders. Because, for example, when we are 8 years old, we hear our parents that they have problems in between, and we are hearing all of this. And for example, they are in financial problems, and we hear it and we want to get our short money to them to help, and then start. We want to, as a child, we jump to the cupola of the, not to the area of the oldest one, and the hierarchy is not going well. And these children is gonna have many different disorders during his life because of that. And much of us are in that kind of troubles, I would like to say, but in different intensity. Okay? The third one, which is very important, is we need always a balance in between you and us, in between adults, in between brothers, in between a couple. There has to be a balance. If someone gives more and the other takes, then this is gonna be wrong in a short time, and it's not gonna be a successful relation. Only in the case with fathers and children, this balance doesn't get enough, never ever, because they give us the life, and this we cannot give it back to them. Doesn't matter if we take care when they are old or whatever, we will never get them back, let's say, these coins. We can give back these coins across our children's, nephews, people that we can find that they really, really are in a bad situation and they need help. And you say, okay, I'm going to give you my help and I don't want nothing back. Then it is clear that the balance is still with respect. Okay.
Okay, that was interesting. It's very interesting. But also constellations, I don't know if you do them like that as well, but you can do them with your work or even with money and all sorts of situations, no?
Exactly. We can do many different issues because as we saw, let's say there's two main streams that make disorders. One of it is the character, the personality, as I told before, and the other one is what we have from our system, what we heredate, what we took as a form of, some people talk about genetic, some people talk about karma. There's so many different ways to explain the family constellation, okay? Física cuántica, many different things. Okay.
I want to ask, is there any case that is like stands out that you've done this family constellation or just therapy? Someone that who you can really see a big change or a big difference or any amazing stories you can share?
Yes. Okay. Let's say some people who came from a family constellation workshops, we do it individual, but we do it also in groups. A lot of people, they come really desperate because they have done many different therapies, and they think or they hear that this is like a fantastic system and you're gonna get like a miraculous health thing, no? Sometimes it happens, but not most of it, I would like to say. Because, as I said, when you see the solution in a family constellation, you see a picture that is going to be healthy for you, health for you. But you also have to work with that. Say, okay, I'm not going to jump my place. You have to be very conscious and put a lot of work from yourself, no, to change that. But it is true that sometimes in family constellation, it comes that pequeños milagros, I would like to call them, no, little miracles, no, and yes, it is sometimes it's incredible, and you never know when it's gonna happen. Never. I would like to say, for example, yesterday, I met a patient that I was 1 month ago with her. It was the first time that I was with her, and she came from a family constellation. It was a really hard case, a really difficult situation for her, because this woman, it is a clearly and a hard, intensive case of this disorder hierarchy that I talk about. When she was 10 years, more or less, her parents broke up, and all the issues that they have in between, all the discussions and arguments, they start to put on her. And they took her as a stone to throw one and the other. She gets it was like a stolen infancia, no? His early ages were stolen in that energy. So she was in a very, very depression, very, very hard depression, was not working since 6 years ago. She wants to be a mother, and she could get not pregnant, and she has, in a few months, she has to do an operation that the uterus is gonna go, so she loses all the possibilities to be. I mean, it was a very hard, very, very sad situation. So we made a individual constellation where then the people. I have no people to represent her mother, his father, and so I use cojines, pillows. Thank you, pillows, and to represent. And it was very interesting. She came to the work deep inside, and I told her, okay, behind your mother is also the present of the life. If you can accept and take the present of the life across your mother, then you can be in peace with all the things that you have in life, because she was like very sticky with all the things that she lose, but she couldn't see all the things that she really has. She has a fantastic husband. She has, well, everything that a woman, a person needs to have a good development in life. But she needs to, like, because she was so angry with her mother, she was also angry with the life. And she could see that maybe her mother couldn't do it better, but there's something bigger than her, which is the life. So she, like, embracing the life. And I would like to say that when we finished, I was very worried because she was in a very big crisis. She was crying so much. And I said to myself, in 1 month, it's going to be too much. Maybe it could be good to see her before. I went from there a little bit worried, no? But what was my surprise? When I saw her yesterday afternoon, I couldn't record. I know it was her, but everything was different. How he dressed, how he smiled, the light of his face was absolutely different. And I said, from the sitting room to my place, I said, oh, something is different. And when he sits, say, okay, Fares, I would like to say, I find a job in this 2 weeks ago. I'm so happy with my husband. I'm also like very calm with the situation from my mother. I say, okay, I still angry, but I thankful about the life, and I can see the face of my mother and say, thank you, because you give me the opportunity of life. So it was a very good session for me also to see that all of this, because sometimes also I would like to say that patients say, okay, I have an incredible inside. I totally healthy. But it's not like that. The character is up and down, and you can see that they need more therapy. But it's not her case.
Okay, so she's done. She's done.
More or less, she's gonna come because there's always more, and the therapy is something very good to live only for the pathologies. For example, everything was good, but she started to speak about the job, and we find out that she has some issues with the authority and with her beliefs and herself. And now we're gonna work with that, and I know.
So your work is never finished. So
well,
do you stop going to a therapist?
Well,
That's
normally say when a therapist feel that no, his job is done. Well, when we see the patient that is growing, no, and you are always growing, so he can. The idea is to find out solutions, and the patient comes to get help. If he's always with us, it means he's not getting help. So in one point, he comes to say goodbye. So
because I wonder also how long should you go to a therapist? You know, I guess you feel it. People are different and different issues and that. But is there some patients who stay with you for like 5 years? And like long time?
Well, my way of work is not so long as, for example, psychotherapists, they work 4 or 5 years. And it is not so short. For example, family constellation, and that's it. We need a process. We find out. It belongs to different patients. Some of them, as I told you, they come for one question, and that's the end. No, I respect that. He goes, and maybe if I feel that he's in a bad situation, in a danger situation, I will say to him, you need to come every week, and we will see how many times. And sometimes he's in a big crisis, and we also recommend like that. But it belongs to the relation with the patient. And sometimes I have patients that they were, for example, 2 years with me. They have done their own process, but they like to come once a month, once every 2 months, and they put some things in line, let's say, no. And
let's talk about quickly that personality test that you, because this narcissism is such a trendy word right now, and such a trend that everyone is a narcissist. So let's talk about, you have this kind of methodology also, this method to define different personality types.
Well,
which I didn't know. So,
there's many different types of, let's see, try to do a classification of characters. It's something that normally it's a kind of diagnostic, no? So it can border you in a moment, but this is also a way to say, okay, you go in that way. You have this what we call herida del alma, no? This soul pain, or this heritage and all this. But I think what you are talking about is the Enneagramma. It's a way of classification of 9. That's because it calls Enneagramma. It's 9 different characters. In these 9 different characters, we can see that at least 3 are narcissists. I mean, narcissism is just another illness. It can be very intensive, and you can suffer a lot because you are a narcissist, and you can make suffer a lot of the people who is around. And you can be a narcissist with not so intensive. It's just a character, okay? And I'm agree that normally people need things to talk about. These are more periodistas.
like
okay,
journalists.
the journalists are there. They talk about narcissism a lot now, and many psychology or therapists, they see, here is a place that I can be a little bit more popular, no? So they start to make the narcissism like a main illness, which is not. Okay? If all kind of passion is an illness.
Like
so
extreme, basically. Yeah.
Patient, it's like in the Enneagramma, for example, we talk about sins, pecados. There's seven, the seven capital sins. We add two more, 9, because in these 2,000 years, many things happen. So are more neurotic people, no? So each one can be very illness people and can be very bad for other people. There's no one worse than the other.
Okay.
So, for example, glutones, glutory.
I don't know what that is.
La gula is one of the main sins. Glutory, it is glutory. Yes. The other one is lust.
Yes.
It's como lujurioso en español. And of course, las orgullosas, the pride ones. And la vanidad, the vanities. These 4 from 9 are narcissism. So let's say the world is full of narcissism. Welcome.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's also become a bit of a trend and something that they talk about now. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Marbella, because we talk a lot about your work. But let's talk about, how did you end up in Marbella? Because where were you born? You said in Spain, but which town?
I was born in Zaragoza, which is at the north. My father was studying there, my mother working. So, but very, very young, I moved to Yemen, and I was there till I was 6 years. Then, well, I would like to say that my father have a sixth sense, sexto sentido, we say in Spanish, to run away from bad situations. Fortunately for us, for our family, so he went out from Syria when the situation was very bad. Then he went to Yemen, and in Yemen was also the civil war, and we ran away from there. We come back to Spain, and then I come to Malaga, and he started to work in Nerja, which is the place that I'm working. No, so this kind of things we find out, no, in this systemic, transgenerational things, no. Well, I've been in Marbella since I am 8 years old. I'm 48 now. I mean, I feel from this town. It hurts me a lot. I feel like one of these waves that we are hearing now, one of the stones of the ocean that we have in here. Everything changed a lot in these 40 years in here.
For example, how do you see Marbella change?
Well, I would like to say the main thing, and it is the most painful for me, it is how it grows, how it grows. And I'm talking about buildings, and I'm talking about illegal, I don't know, restaurants, houses, that they destroy our beaches and our mountains. This is like the most, let's say, a pity thing, no? And I would like to say that Marbella is still being a very, let's say, natural place where you can have amazing beaches. The mountains is still there, and you have wonderful places to go as a natural, no? But I would like to see that our government makes a bad, long view of our town, and we can grow in a different way that we are doing now.
Okay. So what would you like to see more in Marbella?
We would like to see more respect for our trees, for our animals, for our local places. I would like to see more respect, for example, in this highest renting that is belong and coming to our town, because the people who work to support Marbella, they cannot find a dignity house for live. And that's what I would like to have in my town. And it's something that I really feel that we lose in that time.
Yeah. So what do you do on your free time when you're not working?
Ah,
What are your hobbies?
I, I am very, I'm a kind of gluttony, as I say. So, but not with the food, no, which also, no, but I have many. I love to surf since I was 12 years old. I love diving. I'm now doing theater.
So
I love poesy. I love poesy and theater mix. I like to be with my friends and laugh a lot.
And what are your favorite places in Marbella? Where do you go? Like your favorite restaurant or favorite cafe or favorite beach?
Well, I have a lot of, let's say, spiritual agreements with many places from Marbella since I was small. I have my, let's say, my idea, no? I always say Marbella has his own chakras. And I like to visit them sometimes, no? One of it, for example, the first one I love to go, is this tower that we have in the ocean in front of the
Marbella Arch?
Marbella Arch. Thank you. You see?
Yes, I know it.
This is the main chakra from Marbella, I always say, because it's at the beach, but at the same time it's ground and it's fixed down there. The second one, which is my most poetic and inspiration place, where I go to cry and to laugh and to be with my own. It is and it's very close to that place. It is el Puerto de Pescadores, the fisherman port. We call it La Lonja. Is the place where the fisherman comes with the fish and they sell. So the death and the life is in that point every single day, 2 times a day, mornings and evenings. It is where the subasta of the fish, no, where they buy. I don't know, and it's a lot of energy and a lot of cats, no? Yeah, these are very good places for me. I love also to climb to the mountain La Concha, which is a very spectacular place.
And yes, you will, don't say everything because I want you to keep some of your favorite places from my blog. So you have to visit my blog, tennessummer.com, and you will read more about your secret chakra places in Marbella, which is so interesting. Is there anything you'd like to say? Because we have to wrap up our conversation. It's been so nice to talk to you. Is there anything else you would like to say or to invite people? Maybe you have these monthly constellations.
Yes, I do every month a therapy group of family constellation. The next one is going to be in Estepona, the 16th of March. And just to invite you to come, don't... I would like to say, and it's something that I want to say to the audience, but it is also to myself, to you, Tenny, and one of the main fears that we have in life is to find out our real potential, to know real what we need and how we are and what we can get in our lives. It really scares us. But this fear has behind a desire to be a more beautiful person, to do something much more pretty with our life. I would like to invite everyone, also to me, to take more risks in life, to feel more plainly across our emotions and our relations with the rest of human beings and the natural things, of course.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
No,
it's been a
thank
pleasure
you,
to
Tanya.
talk to you.
Thank you.
So before you go, I have a small little present for my own little brand. So
Thank you
just
so
to thank you.
I didn't expect.
Mwah.
Thank you
Don't
so
worry.
much.
This is for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here
Oh,
you go.
me da mucho pudor. ¡Ah, qué bien! ¡Qué bonito!
It's a little panda.
¡Ay, qué me gusta! Ay, Tene, no tenías por qué, de verdad.
You're welcome.
Gracias.
De nada.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Gracias. Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you. Gracias.
This episode is brought to you by Summer Mood, sustainable clothing that is comfy and chic. Visit the online shop summermood.com.